You think you're lazy. You're not. You've been trained to be lazy. Read that again, because it's not some motivational poster quote. It's the cold truth about why you can't seem to get off your ass and do the things you know will change your life. Your laziness didn't come from your DNA. It came from your environment, your upbringing, your culture, your habits. You've been systematically programmed to chase comfort instead of growth. And now, that programming runs your life without you even realizing it. Think about your mornings. The phone is right there, a glowing rectangle feeding you dopamine before your feet hit the floor. You scroll, you consume, you laugh at a meme or watch a 10-second clip. You feel awake, but you haven't even faced reality yet. And that's the first leash around your neck. The companies you follow, the shows you binge, the apps you just check for a second, they've been engineered by teams of psychologists to hook your brain, drip feed you little hits of pleasure, and keep you dependent. The result? Your brain starts associating instant rewards with safety and delayed rewards with pain. That's why going to the gym feels too much. That's why starting that side hustle feels overwhelming. That's why even calling your parents or cleaning your room feels like climbing Everest. It's not that you can't do it. It's that you've been conditioned to reject anything that doesn't give you an immediate rush. Here's the first harsh truth. You've been trained to be a consumer, not a creator. And if you stay in that mode, you're never going to build anything worth a damn. Every minute you spend scrolling, binge watching, or relaxing in the ways they sold you is a minute you could have been stacking skills, deepening connections, or creating a life that doesn't bore you. Second harsh truth. Comfort is addictive. And like any addiction, it doesn't stay at the same level, it escalates. The more comfort you have, the weaker you get. Your tolerance for discomfort shrinks until even the smallest challenge feels impossible. Let's make it personal. Think about that thing you've been avoiding. Maybe it's fixing your relationship. Maybe it's finally putting yourself out there to meet someone. Maybe it's leaving a job that's crushing your soul. You've been telling yourself, I'll do it when I feel ready. But you never will, because ready is just fear in disguise. And here's the kicker. You don't feel ready because your brain has been rewired to treat discomfort as a threat. The good news is, you can rewire it back, and it's easier than you think, but not in the way you want it to be. You want a motivational speech. You want a secret productivity hack. You want some quick 5-step morning routine that will fix everything. It won't, because your problem isn't lack of a plan. Your problem is that you've been trained to need a plan before you start, and that's just another stall tactic. Here's your mindset shift for today. You don't need to feel motivated. You don't even need to believe you can do it. You just need to act. That's it. One action, no matter how small. Send the text, do the push-up, write the first sentence. And when your brain screams, "This is uncomfortable," smile. Because that discomfort is the alarm bell telling you that you're breaking the programming. Stop waiting for the day you wake up ready. It's not coming. Your laziness isn't a personality flaw. It's a virus. And every time you do the thing your lazy self doesn't want to do, you're building immunity. Here's the final slap for this section. If you keep letting your comfort addiction run your life, you'll wake up 10 years from now realizing you've been alive the whole time, but never really lived. So the next time you think, I don't feel like it, ask yourself, is that you talking? Or is that just the programming? How manufactured laziness kills your relationships, attraction, and emotional edge. Let's get something straight. Your love life isn't suffering because you haven't met the right person. It's suffering because your habits have made you unattractive in ways you don't even see. Not ugly, not boring, unattractive in the energy you carry. Because laziness doesn't just keep you on the couch, it bleeds into your posture, your voice, the way you text, the way you show up or don't for the people in your life. Think about it. Attraction isn't about looks alone. It's about the signal you send. And the strongest attraction killer? A person whose life is running on autopilot. Manufactured laziness turns you into a background character in your own story. No spark, no drive, no gravitational pull. Why? Because relationships, especially the kind that last, are built on investment. Not just money or gifts, but attention, emotional energy, creativity, and consistency. And if you've been trained to seek the path of least resistance in every area of your life, guess what? You'll seek it in love too. Here's harsh truth number 1 for this section. If you can't even get yourself to take consistent action for your own goals, you will fail to do it for another person. That means you'll text when it's convenient, not when it matters. You'll skip the little gestures because you're tired. You'll let boredom set in because creating excitement takes effort. And then you'll tell yourself the spark just died, when in reality, you let it rot. Harsh truth number 2. Laziness destroys polarity. Polarity is the magnetic push-pull that fuels attraction. It comes from two people bringing their full energy into the connection: passion, tension, playfulness, unpredictability. When you're running on comfort mode, you stop bringing that. You default to predictable routines, safe conversations, dates that feel like errands instead of adventures. Before you know it, your partner feels like a roommate, not a lover. And this isn't just about romance. Friendships suffer too. You stop initiating hangouts. You stop remembering details about their lives. You stop showing up in moments when they actually need you because you've convinced yourself a quick "hope you're okay" text is good enough. But here's the thing. Connection is built in those moments of inconvenience. When you cancel your Netflix queue to help someone move. When you drive across town at midnight because a friend just went through a breakup. When you cook a meal instead of ordering takeout because you wanted to create something for the person you care about. Manufactured laziness strips you of those moments. It teaches you to preserve your comfort instead of investing in people. And the cruel irony, you end up lonelier than ever. So what's the fix? Stop waiting to feel like putting effort into your relationships. Start doing the opposite of what your lazy brain suggests. If it says, text later, text now. If it says, this is too much work, do the damn work. If it says, I'll see them next time, make the time now. Because attraction is built through repeated proof that you're worth being close to, and comfort never provides that proof. Here's a simple experiment for you. For the next 7 days, whenever you feel the urge to take the easy way out socially, flip it. Skip the lazy text, call instead. Skip the let's hang sometime vagueness, set a real date. Skip the safe, boring routine, do something unexpected. At first, your brain will whine. It will tell you this is too much for just a friend or partner. But you'll notice something powerful. The people in your life will start responding differently. More warmth, more enthusiasm, more attraction. Because energy is contagious. And when you start living like you give a damn, people feel it. Let's close this section with a truth that stinks. Your relationships aren't dying because of some big betrayal or explosive fight. They're dying from slow neglect, from thousands of tiny "I don't feel like it" moments. Stop feeding them scraps. Start feeding them effort.
Rewiring the mind, killing manufactured laziness before it kills you. Here's the ugly truth you've been dodging. Your "I'm just tired" excuse is a lie. Your "I'm not motivated" excuse is a lie. Hell, even your "I'm just not that type of person" excuse is a lie. You've been tricked. And the trap isn't even hidden. It's sitting in your pocket, glowing at you right now. The people who profit from your laziness have spent decades studying exactly how to break your willpower into tiny useless pieces. Social media, streaming platforms, fast food, convenience, everything. They've made it easier than ever to live in a constant loop of low-effort living. And they've got you convinced it's normal. Here's the first psychological trap you're stuck in. Reward hijacking. Your brain evolved to work for rewards. Hunt the animal, get food. Build the shelter, stay warm. Learn the skill, get social status. Now, open the app, dopamine. Click add to cart, dopamine. Microwave the frozen meal, dopamine. No work, no patience, no discomfort. Just instant gratification that rewires your brain to see effort as unnecessary. The more you indulge in this, the more your brain lowers your pain tolerance for anything that requires sustained effort. That's why even a 20-minute workout feels like a chore. That's why having a deep, real conversation feels too heavy compared to texting emojis. The second trap is decision fatigue by design. Every time you scroll, you're making micro decisions. Click this or that, like or ignore, watch or skip. By the end of the day, your brain is so overloaded with meaningless choices that it rejects important ones. So instead of tackling the hard but meaningful thing, starting that project, going for that run, having that overdue talk, you default to whatever costs the least mental energy. And every time you do that, you strengthen the habit of avoiding real life. The third trap is the identity loop. Once you've been living this way long enough, you stop saying, "I feel lazy." You start saying, "I am lazy." And that's the death sentence. Because the moment laziness becomes part of your identity, you stop even trying to fight it. It's just who you are. But you weren't born that way. That's not your nature. It's your conditioning. And anything learned can be unlearned. So here's how you start breaking it. Not in 30 days, not with a shiny planner, not with a New Year, New Me mantra. Right now. 1. Starve the dopamine junk. Delete the one app you waste the most time on. Not all of them, just the worst offender. Why? Because your brain needs to feel the gap. That gap is where action happens. 2. Introduce micro discomfort daily. Take cold showers. Park farther away. Say yes to a task you don't want to do. Not because these things are magical, but because you're training your brain to see discomfort as normal. 3. Anchor your day with one non-negotiable action. Pick the one thing that, if done daily, would make the biggest long-term difference. It could be writing 500 words, doing 20 minutes of exercise, or having one intentional conversation. Do it before anything else. And here's the relationship twist. When you live this way, people feel it. Suddenly, you're not the person who says, "We should hang sometime." You're the one that texts, "Dinner, Friday, 8 p.m., you in?" You're not the partner who slumps on the couch every night. You're the one that says, "Get dressed, I'm taking you somewhere." You're not the friend who bails. You're the one who shows up, even when it's inconvenient. That energy is magnetic because it's rare. And in a world drowning in passive people, rarity is irresistible. Here's the last slap of truth I'll give you. You will never feel like becoming the person you know you're capable of being. You have to act your way into it. Every time you choose action over comfort, you're voting for the version of yourself you actually want to be. And the more votes you stack, the more that version becomes real. So the next time your brain whispers, "Not today," you whisper back, "Watch me."